Here we are. Good Sunday morning, everyone. It's 21 News Chief Meteorologist Eric Wilhelm here with an update on our rain and our flood threats as we wrap up the weekend today and get set to head into a new work week on Monday. Things are going pretty much according to plan. We've had rain for much of the night, some of it a little bit heavier at times, some of it fairly light. I want to start by showing you some of the rain gauge numbers over the last 24 hours. At my place in Boardman, I'm pushing an inch worth of rain since this time yesterday morning, getting close to that number in parts of Canfield, Austintown, and downtown Youngstown as well, and already up to an inch or so down towards Guilford, over into the East Palestine area, over across 62 and 225 towards Alliance, about an inch worth of rain. Up along the I-80 corridor, also close to an inch of rain, Newton Falls. There's a couple of bad readings in here, such as Newcastle, and I suspect this reading in Mespo is too low as well. So something you have to keep in mind with these, and Hermitage looks a little low to me too. Something you have to keep in mind with these rain gauge numbers. You know, rain gauges, some people maintain them pretty well. Some people, their computer might be offline for a time. You're just at the mercy of the individual owners of these personal weather stations as to how much we can rely on the individual reading. All right, the radar this morning as of about 8:30 this morning shows the rain everywhere. Now, what's interesting this morning is we've got a little bit of a dry punch working into west central Ohio this morning. I'm expecting this to fill back in as it tries to work east, so I don't think we're going to get into a real substantial dry slot here in the morning. I think it'll still rain, at least lightly, later on this morning, and I think the rain should pick up in intensity again as we head through the afternoon. I'm wearing my Browns gear today, opening day of NFL season, and Browns Steelers up in Cleveland. It is going to be raining lightly at times, and it's going to be breezy, if not blustery, and chilly up at the lakeshore with temperatures in the 50s. And 50s is where we'll be here in Youngstown and our surrounding area all day today. A very, very chilly day for today. Much like yesterday, we struggled to get out of the lower 60s yesterday afternoon. All right, let's start talking about what the future brings. And here's our high-res futurecast showing that dry slot. It's doing pretty well picking up on that dry slot this morning, but then watch what happens. It really just kind of fills back in. So if this has the right idea, and I suspect it does, the rain's just going to continue. It may let up a little bit here and there, but it's going to continue for the most part. And again, it could get kind of heavy again as we get into the afternoon. Notice some of the yellows here at 2, 3 o'clock this afternoon. As we get into the evening, it's still raining. And I think as we head past sunset tonight and through the overnight hours, the rain might become a little more scattered in nature, but still where it does try to rain tonight, it can still try to rain fairly hard. I wouldn't even be shocked to hear a rumble of thunder overnight tonight. Here's a look at the latest National Weather Service rainfall forecast taking us through this event that will end Monday morning. We have some discontinuity here between forecast offices. The Cleveland office covers Trumbull and Mahoning. The Pittsburgh office covers Mercer and Lawrence and Columbiana. There's a little discontinuity here, but if you extrapolate this a little bit, the general idea here is that 3, 4, perhaps even 5 inches, fairly likely kind of in a zone from southeastern Mercer through southern and southeastern Mahoning and through a good chunk of Columbiana. Amounts gradually get a little lower as you head off to the north and west. The lowest amounts in our TV viewing area should be in northwestern Trumbull County, where 2, 3 inches a little more likely. I doubt too many places up here get 4 or 5. So places such as Kinsman, Mesopotamia, perhaps even down towards Champion. I think you'll see some of the lower amounts in our TV viewing area. Some of the highest amounts probably from Boardman and Poland on south through Columbiana County and down into Lawrence County and southeastern Mercer County as well. All right, so there's a general flood risk. If you live in an area of poor drainage, an area that tends to flood if there's a little too much water, then you need to remain weather aware for the next 24 hours. I think the risk is particularly high near bodies of water, especially near our area rivers. I showed you these graphs yesterday. What I'm going to show you here is kind of a worst case scenario for a few locations. This is for the Ohio River at Wellsville. This is probably kind of the worst case scenario, showing the most likely rise of the river up to about 12 feet, and that would be minor flood stage. But there is a range here in the orange, which is kind of the zone of most likely flood stage levels, or river levels, I should say. There's kind of a zone here from 9 feet up to as much as 15 or 16 feet. That's the kind of the worst case scenario. Here's the official forecast right now, showing a crest of about 14 feet during the course of late Monday night and early Tuesday. There's a lag time here. The heavy rain gets out of here Monday morning, but the river at Wellsville may not crest until first thing Tuesday morning at 14.3 feet. That's the official forecast right now. Again, this is kind of a model showing a range of 9 to 16, the official forecast with a crest of about 14. Here's the Ohio River at East Liverpool, showing kind of a range of most likely numbers here, most likely river levels of about 10 feet to about, let's see here, that's about 17, 18 feet, about 17 feet. So about 10 to 17. The mean is this black line through here at about 12 feet. That's the kind of the model showing the worst case scenario. Here's the official forecast showing a crest of about 16 feet or so, and that crest would occur Tuesday afternoon. So again, there's a pretty big lag here. It's going to take a while for these rivers to rise above flood stage. And so again, this is the Ohio River at East Liverpool official forecast of about 16 feet or so. Here's the Mahoning River at Youngstown, and this shows a range probably on the order of 17 to 22 feet as far as the worst case scenario, with a mean right around major flood stage about 20.5 feet. The official forecast is not this high. This is kind of a worst case scenario, but wanted to show you kind of what the possibilities are if we get into the heaviest amounts of rain. That's the Mahoning River at Youngstown. Here's the Mahoning River at Warren, again showing worst case scenario here, major flooding between 13 and 15 feet. Major flood stage begins at 12.5 feet. That's the Mahoning River at Warren, worst case scenario. Here's the Mahoning River at Leavittsburg, showing a chance of the river rising above major flood stage at 63%, with a range of say 15.5 feet to about 17.5 feet. Major flooding begins at 15 feet. That's the worst case scenario. Here's the official forecast, which is quite a bit lower, showing a crest of a little over 10 feet, which is minor flood stage. That would occur Monday evening. So most of our rivers don't crest until Monday evening to as late as midday on Tuesday. Quite a lag time there. So that's the official forecast, which is quite a bit lower for this particular spot near Leavittsburg than kind of the worst case model scenario I just showed you. So we've got a lot to keep track of. I've shown you some of the threats here as far as the kind of the worst case scenario if this thing really stalls and we get into some heavier rain bands. I'm expecting an average still of somewhere between 3 and 5 inches worth of rain. We've already gotten about an inch, so a storm total of 3 to 5 still seems pretty likely across our area. That would cause some localized flooding problems and certainly some significant rises in our area rivers. All right, so stay safe for the rest of the weekend. I'll have a few more updates during the course of the day today. Make sure you're following the rest of our team, including meteorologist Andrew DiPaolo, who will give you a full update this evening on 21 News at 6 and 11, and you can catch that update anytime on the Storm Tracker 21 app.